What's up, gang? Little marathon training going down right now. So for my deadlift and the marathon. So my plan of action, get a little warm up in, just do some midline, some simple warm up stuff. Then gonna go 7 sets of 2 on the 92nd, real heavy for the dead after I get a nice warm up. Then from there I'm gonna run a quick 5 miler around the neighborhood. It's not super cold out, so I can get a good run in, get some road miles out there. Again, starting to just try to push those miles out a little bit. For my deads that I'll try to pull everything over 500 pounds, so doubles for 500, no belt, no gear. That's my goal as well. So when I pull, I'll obviously wear a belt and wear gear, so that will help out. But again, keeping the training sessions a little longer, a little more segmented, but throughout the whole week doing CrossFit as well. So we'll see how it turns out. Boom. Hey buddy. What's up, gang? Just want to do a little episode on marathon training, the update, what that looks like. I just got back from a long run, my longest one yet. It was a little 8 miles plus, and it was good. So I think I got some thoughts after I've been running a little more than I ever have, but also deadlifting a good amount more than I ever really had to. And I think a few things that I've learned, and I think this is valuable for us out there from a training perspective. I really dislike running, and more importantly, I don't necessarily think that it's that good for you overall. And I can take this across from any specialty. So I've been CrossFitting competitively for about 10 years. Some years more successful than others at the CrossFit Games, and I've had my injuries, my bang-ups here or there, but I've never been able not to do anything completely. If I'm a little banged up, here or there, I can always, scale and train throughout that. Keep it in mind, my volume has always been higher than anyone that would ever not be competing. So, and I would say in 10 years, I've done more CrossFit workouts than most people that CrossFit on a regular basis just in life for their whole life. But gosh, in adding just a little more volume, running 3s, 5s, 8s, 10-mile runs, my body hurts so much. And it makes sense now when runners come into the gym and I see runners and I talk to runners and they're broken and they're beat up. And it's one of those things where, take aside the emotional piece if you love it. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying from a physical perspective, it's hands down one of the most detrimental things to do at mass amounts of volume, right? You're gonna run 10 miles, it's gonna take you an hour and a half. You're gonna have that many steps on your body. Even if there's a little mechanical inefficiency, that's gonna add up over time to a significant amount of movement errors and injuries and overuse, aches and pains. So long story short is I'm continually doing CrossFit regularly. That's my main training, adding in 3 runs a week, a longer run, some interval training, and then the third one is based off how I feel and also time. Gosh, running also takes up so much damn time. It is so boring for me. That's why I love CrossFit. Training for this marathon has taught me 2 things, or reaffirmed 2 things. Running, long distance and distance running is not healthy for you. No way it can be, in any way, shape, or form. You cannot prove it to me. Second, CrossFit is hands down the best way to get fit, and stay injury-free if you're doing it at a lower than competitive level. And that doesn't mean other things aren't good or can't get you results, but I mean, I just see the results that I've been able to garner. I see what everyone else can do, and I also see the injury rate is so low, and it's unbelievable to see that. There's a lot of talk out there, CrossFit's dangerous, this or that. No way does it hold a candle to any other type of exercise regimen out there from an injury perspective. It's so far below, and specifically to any sort of overuse. If you just said, hey Austin, air squat for an hour and a half, no thanks. I just think that the variance piece of CrossFit is what's so beautiful, and it allows you to stay fresh, to stay healthy, and garner adaptation consistently without beating up your body. And it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Just mix it up. If you did something yesterday, do something a little different. needless to say, repetition is not a bad thing, but if we're doing it day after day after day, man, it can add up. So those are my thoughts on running. Longest run I had today, and it was one of those. It's nice, it's pretty. It's I'm listening to a book on on my phone, but there's a lot of other things I'd rather be doing for an hour and a half. And I think a lot more bang for my buck from a fitness perspective. But if you have a goal, set it, I'll make it happen, and I'm learning a lot. From a deadlifting perspective, I've been deadlifting a good amount, and deadlifting is such a beautiful movement, and I think it's one of those that if you do, like, just deadlift heavy once a week, singles, doubles, triples, sets of 5, do double overhand for the most part. If you get super, super heavy, maybe go mixed grip there. Really make sure that there's not too much movement in the back. Dead stop deadlifts I've been playing with, but gosh, you will garner some unbelievable adaptation, some strength, that neuroendocrine response that you get. That's another good little challenge out there. If you can run 3 miles in 25 minutes or faster, and if you can deadlift 315 pounds a few times, you're a pretty strong human. Maybe get upside down and do some handstand push-ups, do a couple pull-ups. You're pretty fit, and I think that's the beauty of what CrossFit can do. And and my purpose of training for the marathon, and also being able to pull the deadlift the same day, is to show that variance achieves pretty unique levels of fitness, not to levels of mastery and specificity of world record style, but to a level that is pretty awesome. And traditional strength and conditioning coaches, in years past, say that's not necessarily possible. So that's what I'm having some fun with. I wanted to share my thoughts with you on marathon training. I'm keeping it super simple. I'm not following any type of specific program. Really, I know I'm fit enough to run a 4-hour marathon. I know that my engine is there. It's just making sure my body doesn't break down. So it's just getting time under tension. But thus, that's the same thing with volume training for the CrossFit Games, right? It's like you don't need to train 600 workouts a day all year round. If you know you're going to see 3 to 4 workouts in a day before a type of competition, you should train for that. You up your volume over time to get there. But if you do that all year round, all the time, you'll break down. And in the running community, that's that old school thought process. I need 40 to 80 miles a week. That's mind-blowing to me. If you just translate that much into how much you would have to actually train in a CrossFit gym, doing anything that much time, you would be broken. So I think if you just look at the time under tension there, it's not good for you. So I know this is a little controversial. I have good friends that are runners. I love runners. It's just now that I go through this process, I understand when they walk into the gym and their body's pretty beat up. Why? Because I've been running for a month, really, at a higher volume than I'm used to, and all I want to do is stretch my hip flexors and lay down. So I'm not in hip flexion anymore. But hopefully you find some value in this. Later tonight, after I recover a little bit, I'll probably go I'll pull some heavy deads, and that'll be sort of my Sunday. And we'll hit it tomorrow on Monday nice and hard. So boom.